Toronto. Maria Quirk now takes it for the Banshees. Manages to go short. Taken there by Marie Keating. Keating now goes towards the half-forward flank position. Bit of a worm burner along the ground. Going in to pick it up, though, is Anne-Marie Troy. Tried to fire out the hand pass. Didn't go too far. Pressure being put on here by the half-back line of the USA. There's Kojo. Connor Joe Lewis tried to chase down the player, but the Irish managed to swing it inboard. Managing to find Keane. Keane now with the football. Gets it across towards the half-forward flank position. Getting brought down to ground, though, the number 10 in Ailish Dunn. And the Americans will kick it away with one bounce very close towards the boundary line, just seeing it over there. Christine Flock couldn't get to the football in time, out of bounds, and it is the last touch rule. That means it's a free kick going the way of Dara Power.
They call it the lasso rule because they do the little lasso as if they're doing a jump on it, Apache, as opposed to the coach
jump
Beard.
On it, jump on
as opposed to the coach Beard rule. Out to the near side, good punch thrown in there by Blecker, and now the ball comes in as the ball goes out of bounds. And once again, let's see, we saw the hand go up. It will be a boundary throw-in. So boundary throw-in, which will occur. 50,
we'll ball it up.
It will be a ball up. You hear umpire Kevin Murray as the ball will come spinning back in the play.
Ball's out.
Ball comes to ground, going to be picked up by Quirk. Quirk gets sending that one in across. Leonard was in there, and the handball in. Here comes Ireland, slaloming through. Going to be taken there. Big tackle put on Stevenson, and she is Gone gone. Good tackle put in there in the back by Connor Lewis. Lewis, a gridiron football player, now the head coach of the Minnesota Vixen, but it's going to be chopped off of the pass by Waller. Waller goes up the far side, sends in that one towards the sticks. The umpire comes forward and says that is 1 point and only 1 point. On the Payable app scoreboard, that takes Ireland to 2 goals, 6 behinds, 18 points. USA no score, 2.5 gone, second term.
And Hallie Kastanek of the Denver Bulldogs will bring the ball back into play. Hallie Kastanek, of course, 38 years old, out of Denver, Colorado, played in 3 AFL International Cups, 2011, 2014, and 2017. The kick, not that great. It put Kelly Corshaw under Queen and David Bowie. That's under pressure. Now it goes across to Georgiadis. Had it momentarily. Trying to get the hand pass away. Wasn't successful. Ali Dykes is there as well. She's trying to pick the football up. It's on the deck. She has it momentarily, fighting in with an Irish opponent. And the umpire says it's going nowhere, fighting hard. Again, the youngster for the Irish in Abby Doonan. The umpire will throw the ball up very quickly. Getting in the tap out and reading it best was Troy, but it went absolutely nowhere. Georgiadis just stripped possession of the football. Here's Connor Lewis. Goes with a quick hand pass. Wanted the 1-2. Maybe a little high there by Maria Quirk. Umpire missed it. Ball hit the deck. Going in to try and pick it up and getting run down is Ailish Dunn. And the umpire says it's go-go Kojo. Connor Joe Lewis has a free kick.
USA has their Kojo rising out to the near side. Mark, the thing was in the field of play by Dara Power, and I think it was. So a good mark by Power in front of the late arriving Flock. And now she is on the mark now. Right in front of the Hellertown, Pennsylvania native in Flock, sending this one high in the air. Ball gets knocked down. Georgiadis is there, trying to get a handball away, hugging the boundary line like a teddy bear. Good bump put in. Going to be picked up by Blecker. Blecker sends this one inboard, drops in front of 4 different players. Going on and getting it quickly was O'Donovan ahead of Amanda Bowe. Now Bowe able to get this one away. It goes about 5 meters, picked up by Condon. Condon sending this one in now into the center square. Going to get a handball back, looking for Waller. Waller sending this one inside the 50-meter arc, and a good mark taken by Scully. Scully is probably 2 kicks from goal, and she will go back to wind this one up, Pete.
Scully assesses her options. No, she's way too far out, so it's going to go towards the pocket. Kastanek was there, manages to bring the football to ground with a good spoil from behind, but going in to pick up the football after she lost it was Shannon Stevenson, and she puts it straight through the high diddle, and that moves the Irish Banshees along to 3 goals, 6-24. The USA Freedom yet to score. That's on the Payable app scoreboard as part of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup.
Brought to you by Payable Ads. And yeah, that was the US in this early part of this second quarter so far, Pete. They're playing a little bit better. You saw them move the ball a little bit further forward, but Ireland, it's like a big emerald green wall. The US cannot penetrate that halfback line. After a goal, the ball comes back in the middle. Umpire Murray tosses it, and away we go again. Williamson able to get the hit out, gets the ball back, and sends this one. Could this be the first sortie inside 50? No. And the mark was taken in front of the late arriving Kathy Hoa. It's done by Downey. Downey looks to the left side, handball, now a kick. Ball goes off the knees of Pfluger. Ball bounces away, picked up now by Downey once again. And the ball is down there. Throw a blanket over half a dozen players. We'll have the ball up on the opposite side. Once again, here in Toronto at Colonel Sam Smith Park on the campus of Humber College. The beautiful buildings behind us. Apparently, they tell us that this was where they filmed the Police Academy movies. The ball goes to ground as it bounces off the hands of Pfluger. Going to get picked up and up on the far side. It's a rolling maul situation. It's like a tumbleweed. I didn't know Canada had tumbleweeds, did you? As the ball comes down, going to get picked up again. Over there is Power, Dara Power, trying to power the ball through, as is her name. And the ball is frozen away just like some European assets as the ball now bounces out. Liz Ed is in there for the USA. Tries to clear the present danger up on the intense side of the ground because there's people over there intense. And now running on and running away from Lindsay Terse. Sending this one in. It bounces away from Lewis. And now throwing a shepherd in on the second try was Amelia Carr as Ireland still maintained possession in the 50-meter paint. Ball going to come into the middle of the ground. Carr again is lurking. So is Blecker. Picked up and dropped by one of the Irish. I think that was O'Sullivan. And it is a free, and we'll have a ball up, I believe. No, it is a free kick. It will go the way of Ireland in Anne-Marie Troy.
Onto herself, which will put boot to ball just outside the 50-metre arc. Goes sky high with a kick, 15 metres but sideways. Connor Joe Lewis third in the queue there, almost brought the football in. Ball kicked along the carpet, just barely goes inside the centre square. Williamson having to do a bit of dancing, kicks around the corner, wants to go up towards the wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Easy mark here for the Irish, and they'll send it back from whence it came. Taking it in the middle of the ground, Marie Keating already got a goal so far this morning. Swings it inside 50 with a long direct kick that has been point perfect. And taking it is Shannon Stevenson in front of Hallie Kastanek, who just virtually had no chance of getting to that. Now she elects to go and squares the football up. It was just at knee level of the player that she was aiming for. It managed to kick the ball along the carpet towards the pocket. The Americans will try and take it out of defence with a hurry kick. A wall being set up by the Irish at the moment. The ball was unlucky for O'Sullivan, which bounced away from her. And advantageous here for the Americans. On the Elair Live broadcast wing, taking the football was Bow. Gave up the quick hand pass to Blecker. Blecker now got it across the Flock. Flock on the right boot. They're going to be looking for Allen, who had the hands up, couldn't quite bring the football in. Allen went again, gets the hand pass out. It was a quick one to Liz Ed. Under pressure back to Allen. Allen on the right boot. A grubber of a kick towards the top of the square. They're lighting up here in numbers and putting through the Americans first. It's Catherine Hoha.
A server line goal. They were queuing up. Great team goal by the Americans, and they finally, at the halfway point of the second quarter on the Payable app scoreboard, they go to 1 straight 6. They trail Ireland 3-6-24. It was a broken play at times, but you know what? It came together at the end, and they got the major score.
You almost felt like coming out of defence then. The Americans, again, were going to have it trapped inside their 50. And the funny thing of football in our oval-shaped ball, it took an unlucky bounce that got away from O'Sullivan that completely opened it up, which eventually got it to Blecker with a quick drive onto Allen.
Ball comes back in the play once again. I was sitting here thinking that the Irish looked very quick on offense and the U.S. was looking slow on defense. It was the complete opposite there. The U.S. very quick to get by the Irish defenders and finally get a sausage roll as the ball goes to ground now at the feet of the 6 in Lindsay Terse. Began her career with the Philadelphia Hawks from Swedesboro, New Jersey, currently playing her football for the Division II women's champions, the Austin Crows. Pfluger able to get this one high, looking for Ed. Going to be picked up on a hop through the air is Power. Power sending this one in, and it is marked. The Irish, I'm noticing, good leads, and they are always first in front of the ball. This one is going to be chipped inside 50, drops in front. Going to get almost picked up on a hop there by Troy, who has one of the 3 goals so far for the Banshees. As the ball goes to ground once again, Caskew, Kelly Caskew for the USA is there. Big tackle, no call. She's going to pick that one up, Caskew, from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Another Garden Stater sent forward by Dykes. Looking up on the far side, Ed is there, 1, 2, 3 hops. Terse inserting herself in the football. Shortest player on the field at 4'11". Umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignor, and we'll have a ball up on the Lake Ontario side of the ground with 7.5 to go in the second term. Ireland leads by 3 goals.
Umpire throws the football up in the air again. Williamson beaten out on that occasion. little juggling work has to be done there as they get it across to O'Sullivan. Becky O'Sullivan wants to go inside 50 with a kick, almost brought down Rain with a kick. Ball got out the back. Oh, Connor Joe Lewis overran the opponent and just putting it on the boot is Shauna Kendrick, and she'll have her first, and it's the fourth for the Irish Banshees. They move to 4-6-30. The USA Freedom 1 straight 6, and that is on the Payable app scoreboard.
Quick reply to the goal for the U.S. there, and we are seeing, and we've mentioned it a couple of times, the Irish, they are cleaner with the skills, and I think that's the biggest thing. And you could say, one of the things we do have to mention, the USA, they are scattered. The players are scattered all over the country. They go from the East Coast all the way through to the West Coast. A lot of these players don't get a chance to play, maybe a handful of times so far, especially we had the regional tournaments come up and they had the opportunity. So a little of that showing in the opening game against what will arguably be, I think, assertively be their toughest test of the 3 pool games. Ball finds O'Sullivan. Here come the Irish again, and no, it didn't go 15 meters, so they'll play on quickly. Dribbles that one through the goal square, picked up in front, turning around on a dime, or a loony, I should say, on the outside of the foot was Troy, and she has her second. And that extends the lead on the Payable app scoreboard to an even 30 points. They go to 5-6-36 USA, 1 straight 6.
5-6-36 Ireland, 1 straight 6 USA. That second goal for Anne-Marie Troy. And of course, out of the Cork Vikings, 27 years old, can switch between mids and forwards. And originally out of Dublin, her hometown. Umpire with the football back in the middle of the ground. We're talking before about Stevenson, how much of a dangerous threat she is up forward for the Irish Banshees as well. In fact, she's the leading goal kick for the last 3 years in Ireland, so it's no surprise that Kastanek has gone to her for today's game. The ball is kicked along the ground, trying to pick it up there side. Gula got knocked away from her. It's Blecker who tried to go with the soccer skills off the ground. That didn't work out. Running straight into trouble there is Catherine O'Hare. She's going nowhere. Wrapped up immediately by Sarah O'Donovan. The umpire will take the football back and throw it up between centre wing and the half-forward flank for the USA.
Light rain starting to fall on the banks of Lake Ontario, as in the ruck is Casserly, who got the hit out, but it's skittered away. And now here comes Cashew from the Seattle Grizzlies. It skitters off, or slides off, or whatever you want to call it, the side of her left foot, picked up by the Irish, sending it back for Witsetane. Blecker looking like Willie Mays, but it bounces off of her chest. She has some time to get rid of it, has a friendly face there in Allison Leonard. Leonard, the co-captain, sends this one across. The mark is in. The co-captains, Allison Leonard of the Denver Bulldogs and Minnesota's Catherine Georgiadis. Georgie, as she is known to everybody here at the Oval. As the mark is taken up on the far side, going to get thrown on the right, sends this one down the line, and it drops in front. 2 players overran it. Going to be picked up there by Troy, who has the only multiple goal scorer for the Banshees. Sending this one in now. Ball going to ground. Lewis is trying to find it. A free kick has been picked out. It will go the way of the Banshees. So he's going to look for a centering ball here, going across, and finds Stevenson dead in front. This will come from about 35 meters out. And standing on the mark, as we look at it, is Kylie Hahn. So here is Stevenson, strides forward, arches the back, sends this one up on the way. It is dead center, perfect goal to the Irish Banshees, and Shannon Stevenson, that's her second, and that takes the Banshees on to 6-6-42. That's on the Payable app scoreboard. USA 1 straight 6.
Yep, just for our graphics, 1-0-6 there for the USA. They're trailing at the moment by 36 points. You're on the Payable apps scoreboard, and of course the Irish doing most of the damage with 4 goals this quarter to the right of screen, which is the Mississauga end, and of course with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore. Check them out online at Mississauga.ca. As the ball is thrown up in the middle of the ground, Horn's being moved into the ruck here for the USA. Going in to try and lay the tackle is Tash Byrne for the Irish. Good little bump put on there. Calling it for the side is Casserly. She'll get stripped of the football, but it's still play on advantage for the Irish. Now getting on the end of it, O'Sullivan, having a good game so far today. Gets a hand pass over the top, and now their way, they're going to open up through the wing on the broadcast side. Was trying to find the intended target in Brosnan. Cut off there by Kojo. It's Connor Joe Lewis. Gets the hand pass around. Now gets it to Flock. Flock goes sky high with the kick towards the centre of the ground. Couldn't bring it in there as Kylie Horn. And the umpire's blown the whistle and said, got rid of it, then got slung to the ground without the football. It will be your resulting free kick, and Kylie Horn has it in front of our broadcast position.
Hahn comes out to the near side. Her coming out party was the Super Regionals a season ago for Denver. Out to the near side, a big collision there. Getting run over was Terse, who came out second best but came up away, and she is held up. Did she have prior opportunity? It was a high contact. If you're watching us for the first time, when you go in for the tackle for somebody on the ball, you're not allowed to tackle above the shoulders or below the knees, and she got tapped on the shoulder there. So Terse is looking around. Again, as we said, former member of the Philadelphia Hawks, moved out to Austin, played for the Crows. That one goes off the side of her foot. The kicking letting down the U.S. a little bit, might be due to the slick conditions as the ball comes out to the far side. Going to get picked up and running around. Now sending that one down the line. Lewis reads it, but it's going to overkick everybody, including the intended receiver, who is Brosnan. Bounces to Beck. Beck shuffles away. Now kicks that one onto the right. Sending that one up high. Looking in the middle for Ed. Ed sees that bound away from her. O'Sullivan is in there as well for Ireland. Going to get picked up by Georgiades, who is taken down, and she is gone. A good tackle, and it will be a free kick to Ireland. And one thing, if you've never held an Aussie rules football before, it's different than some other balls like a rugby ball or an American football. It's completely slick, so the moisture, it's like a greased watermelon.
Saigula tries to move the football sideways. Couldn't find the intended target in Fury. Has support though. Captain Georgiades goes in to try and lay the tackle. Does a little bit of bump work in the end. Americans trying to work it well in the middle of the ground as they go with some sideways handball. Saigula now goes in the Allen direction, who had it momentarily. Got it back. Jerry Allen, hand pass to herself. Goes for the open goal and is away to the left-hand side. And will register as a minor score. 1-1-7 the USA. Ireland 6-6-42. Under a minute remaining in the second term.
Allen, the former hammer thrower for the University of Minnesota, another person who just got married, and all she and her husband did for their honeymoon is climb Mount Kilimanjaro. In fact, she was telling me that she was ordering her gear for the USA Freedom while in Africa as the siren goes, and that is halftime at the football. It's all been Ireland. The U.S. had a better second term, but on the Payable app scoreboard, it's the Irish Banshees, 6 goals, 6 behinds, 42 points. The USA won straight 6, and Pete, you know, as I said, the U.S., a team that still getting adjusted to playing alongside each other. It is showing a little bit. Ireland a little bit more cohesion, and they have the cleaner skills at the end of 35 minutes.
I think the one thing to see at the moment, and I guess it shows the difference that the advantage the Irish have of playing Gaelic football, as much as they don't play 18-a-side football as often as the Americans do as well. Using that Gaelic expertise, the Irish know how to move the ball sideways. They know how to go to advantage by kicking on a 45-degree angle. Unfortunately for the Americans, besides that little blast passage there where they handball sideways, they've been a bit one-dimensional. They're coming up the broadcast wing. They're not spreading. They're not switching, and it's a bit easy for the Irish to pick off and send back the other way when they know the Americans are just going to keep coming down the same route.
It's anything but Irish at this point, is what it seems like. And one thing I'm noticing on the forward attacks, I think the U.S. are playing a little bit. You know, they're catching Ireland a little bit unaware, so that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as this game goes on. Well, we're going to step aside, come right back. We are at halftime. Once again, the score, it's the Irish Banshees 42, the USA Freedom 6. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup from Toronto, brought to you by Payable Apps. Back here at Colonel Sam Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, it's the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, brought to you by Payable Apps. We're just returning to the second half of play of this opening game of the tournament and the opening game of the women's division as the Irish Banshees lead the USA Freedom by the score of 42-6. Brian Barish alongside Peter Holden with you. Great to have your company. And Pete, this second half going to be very important for the U.S. to get a hot start if they want to have any stake in this.
And I'll just clarify the score also, 66-42 to 117 for the USA. So we just need to add an extra behind to that. There were in-depth conversation happening just then in the USA huddle with Coach Andrew Donlan discussing how they're going to attack this. The next 5 to 10 minutes is going to tell what the USA are going to do with the rest of this game. If they can get a goal or two and chip into the Irish margin, then go for it, trying to make the comeback and win the game. If they can't chip into it, then you've got to play smart football. No one wants to lose a game on purpose, so to speak. But because it's a tournament format, there's sometimes you've got to put the cue in the rack, particularly when you're playing 5 games in 10 days. If the margin gets to a point where it's too far out of reach, then you've got to play the safe game, rest your best 6 players to make sure they're fit and ready to go for the remainder of the tournament.
Indeed. The umpire is just about ready. The third quarter set to begin here in Toronto as the ball goes up in the air. Second half is underway as the ball comes down the ground. Going after it is Georgiades, soccered off the ground by Ireland, and now going back and scrambling for it is Fury. Handballs over to Williamson. Here's Terse, and now finds a cutting Fury who runs through. Good run to start the play in the opening minute. Gonna kick that one in, looking for Allen, trying to use her strength on the defense there, but won by Ireland, chipped in front. Clean bowls Georgiades, but finds Williamson. Little quick kick over the top, looking for Beck, going to bounce through for Fury. Fury's going to run through, throws on the brakes, looks for a handball back for Saigula. Saigula sends this one up. It's going to bring some more rain. Going to be almost taken by Beck. Ball comes free. Gets knocked forward again by Fury. Going to get picked up by Bo. Handballs it into Hoa. She's taken down. She didn't have any clear opportunities, so the umpire says let the record play. Finding Karen Waller out to the near side, and it's going to be marked in the middle by the 22. That's Becky O'Sullivan.
And wants to go with a switch of playing towards the middle of the ground. That's what I've been talking about, that the Irish do so well, using Lawler, who goes towards the half-forward flank position, around about 55 metres out from goal. Almost a false start there for Brosnan, who now goes inside the 50-metre arc, and taking it again is Shannon Stevenson. Already got 2 so far this morning. Goes with a long kick, looking for Lawler, who's chasing after the football. Kastanek going with her, and the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds, 5 metres around from the right-hand point post.
Since we haven't done it yet, we'll mention the goal scorers for Ireland. Stevenson and Troy each have 2. Keating and Kendrick have 1. And Kathy Hoa has the only goal for the USA. 42 plays, 7 minute and a half gone, third term. Ball comes spinning back into play, and we have a whistle, and it will be a free kick as winning the, and it looks like getting caught high there was the 20, I believe that's 27 in Troy, who, as we said, has kicked 2 goals. The ball will be from an acute angle, more cuter than my 4-year-old daughter, and she'll have an opportunity. Kick, the distance won't be an issue. The question will be if she'll go straight on or try to hook it around. It's on the way. It goes across the face, past the Dutchie on the right-hand side, and another point. That's on the Payable Apps scoreboard. Ireland go to 6-7-43. It's a 5-goal lead over the USA Freedom. They're 1-1-7.
And that's Brian Barish, father of Hazel Barish, who will be playing for the USA Freedom in about 20 years from now. As we wait for Kastanek to go with a short kick, dangerously close towards the boundary line, looking for Carr, missed her completely. And the ball is over the boundary line and out of bounds.
They are being very, very wasteful with these kick-ins, Pete. I'm very surprised, and I'm wondering if, I know that they're using her strength, they may need to look at somebody else to take those kick-ins.
And Kendrick ends up going along with the kick for the Irish towards the top of the goal square. Mad scramble on. It's Connor Joe Lewis goes in there, tries to get the hand pass out, but she got brought to the ground. Tunnel balls it, but I think the umpire had already blown the whistle to call for a ball up. Right on the top of the goal square, heading towards the Toronto downtown end are the Irish for this third term. We're playing 17.5-minute quarters with no time on. Rita Hill has to try and fire out a handball. Well on the ground, so Gula socketed off the ground, gained about 30 metres. Almost towards the 50-metre arc, overrunning the footballer's flock, couldn't go in to pick it up. Fighting for it is Annie Walsh there for the Irish. Umpire comes in, blows the whistle, and says we have a stalemate, so we'll call for a ball up. 43-7, the Irish leading the Americans.
We mentioned Hallie Kastanek. She's played in all 3 international cups, and she started as a ruck, and as she's gone on in her career, she's been converted into a backline player, and they're, like we said, hoping her strength can see them through as the ball goes out of bounds. As we mentioned, we have 4 other teams in this tournament. Coming up next, we will see the home team, Canada, take on Great Britain, and that will happen at noon. So at the top, I would say at the, well, I was going to say at the top, I didn't realize how early it was, but at 12 o'clock Eastern time, and then at 2 o'clock, 2 debutantes, France and Colombia. Big tackle in there, and she is gone, I believe, and it will be a free kick. Yes, it'll be a free kick going the way of Lindsay Beck. Beck was a rower at the University of Minnesota. A very interesting crossover. We have had a number of players come through the USA Freedom Program. I think of Rosie Quokka. I think of Liz Danielson, both national teamers in 2017 who both rode, and Beck continuing that excellence there. Here's Kaya Saigula, who has the football just to the left of the center circle on the Lake Ontario side. Now kicks that one. That's deflected. That's a free ball. Ball drops in front, picked up by Hoa. Was harassed quickly there by Walsh. Ball comes free, and now they're playing aggro twister in the center of the ground. Could be handballed up looking for Hahn. She was bear hugged very quickly by Annie Walsh. No prior opportunity, says our umpire Ian. That was Ian Kafka-Peterson, and we'll have a ball up as away we go again.
And the quick little tap forward. Just bounced away awkwardly there from Catherine O'Hara. Couldn't pick it up. Georgiadis was there as well. Hand pass over the top there by Stevenson to open it up for the Irish. They kick towards the true centre forward position. Amelia Carr was trying to trap the football. Got past her. Had to go and try and track it down. Goes to ground. Managing to fight and scrap for it, and jumping in over the top was Tracy Mary McLean. Did well. Got it over the top now for the chance for the Americans to come off the halfback flank out towards the wing, only to be intercepted by Lawler, who tapped the ball in front of herself, and she got mown down. And the umpire says Yogonski. And that's a free kick to the Americans in front of the scoreboard, which shows Ireland 6-7-43, USA 1-1-7, thanks to Payable Apps. Wants to come in board with a kick to Jess Blecker. Was on the Collingwood VFLW list in 2019. When Collingwood won the VFLW flag. Kicks it long, inside 50 with the kick. Ball bounced away there from Amanda Bowe. The Irish will take it and swing it around. Was trying to find Louise Scully out there on the halfback flank on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Umpires come in, blown the whistle, said unfairly dealt with. And Scully gets the resulting free kick. Moves it up the wing positions. Got to be good with it, and is. And a mark taken there just in front of the scoreboard. A short little kick back into play. Tried to go for the leap early where was Brosnan. Couldn't hang on to it. Georgiadis had it, then slipped right over in these dewy conditions. Got it to Blecker, who tried to jump out of the way. Stevenson went around and around and around we go, and got the resulting free kick.
If it was any more dewy, it would be coaching Gold Coast. Now up on the far side, that is a deep cut of a joke if you're an AFL fan, as the ball comes down the middle, as that one is marked nicely by Quirk. Quirk with the football now, probably 2, maybe 3 kicks from goal, as she stands 70 meters out from the Irish target. They lead by 36 points. Yes, that is 6 straight kicks. Look at the high school mats as this one is sent in. It might only be 2 kicks from goal. Off a hands, ball goes to ground. Second bite of the cherry, wheeling around and sending that one towards the goals, and through for behind was Kendrick. She has a goal already, but doesn't get one on this occasion. And on the Payable App scoreboard, Ireland goes to 6-8-43, USA 1-1-7. Brian Barish alongside Peter Holden. Great to have your company. You'll also hear the voice of a couple of Nova Scotians a little bit later on in Pat McNeil and David Smith. They'll be bringing you the action with us as well. Out to the near side, and once again a dangerous kick by Kastanek, but finds Carr, who's able to get and release quickly. Up to the near side, ball gets knocked down. Fury again in after it against Walsh. Fury wins the footy. Now throws this one on to the left, right in front of us on the either live side of the ground. Going to be picked up and getting knocked on her rear end was Kendrick, but they win it again to Quirk. Quirk going to send this one again into the top of the goal square, but Carr again couldn't get it cleanly. Balls goes to ground. Going to get picked up by Kendrick. Centering into the middle. Another chance here is from point blank range. And did she get it? No, it hit the goalpost on the way through. And remember, if it hits the goalpost, even if it bounces in, it is just 1 point and only 1 point. Payable app scoreboard, Ireland 6-9-45, USA 1-1-7.
That was by Ailish Dunn, and that all came about because the unlucky kick there was accidentally smothered by Ali Dykes, who was trying to get out of the way, and it ricocheted off, and they found Ailish Dunn who managed to score that point. The Irish are going to go for another crack at it. Shauna Kendrick is mown down. The umpire said no, fair play on. Amelia Carr doesn't get the free kick. Connor Joe Lewis has it in the back pocket for the Americans. Kicks it up in the Georgiades direction. Gets past her, trying to push and shove through as Amanda Bowe. Couldn't pick up the football. Spinning around on a sixpence there and kicking the footy is Shannon Stevenson. Manages to square it up towards Tashburn. Tashburn wanted to go off the side of the boot. Instead it was a Barry Crocker. It was out of bounds on the full. And we'll have the resulting free kick for the Americans about 10 metres around from the left-hand point post at the Toronto downtown end of the ground.
Great pressure by Jess Blecker. She came from behind, as Dennis Cometti used to say, snuck up on her like a librarian and affected that kick to send it out of bounds on the full. Blecker, we mentioned, played in the Northern Territory League up in Darwin for Nightcliff, and one of the things she said really helped her because of the wet and humid conditions. They play during their summertime, during the wet season up there. It really helps with ground ball footy. There was a lot of that. That could have been kicking in danger against Maria Quirk. It wasn't called. That's okay. And we have a ball up. It will be in the front pocket, forward left pocket position. That's where I keep my phone, which is why I try not to lay down on the job. The ball comes back in the play, going to get slapped at by Williamson, but she got maybe 2 fingers on the ball. Handballed very close to the boundary line to get out of jail there, do the Banshees. Sending that one in the middle of the ground, going to picking that one up on about the 15th hop with Scully. Turns on a loony or a toonie, whatever you want to call it, and then it's picked up. There's Adrian there, the last line of defense, but again, an affected handball. It bounces out in front, going to get picked up, and then getting flung backward was done, and it's going to be a free kick, I believe, going the way of the USA. Yeah, if you're watching for the first time, the umpires point the defensive way that they're going, not like it is in normal sports.
And mark taken by Lindsay Beck of the Minnesota Freeze at the centre half back position for the USA Freedom. Going in the Jerry Allen direction. She's worked a long way up the ground, Jerry Allen, towards the middle of the ground, but it's going to be taken away here by Condon for the Irish until she gets run down from behind. An excellent chase down, and the resulting free kick going the way of Nicole Feary out of the Golden Gate Iron Maidens, formerly known as the San Francisco Iron Maidens, 7 times USAFL National Women's Division 1 champions, and that's in a row, folks, as Feary says, wagons ho, and goes forward with the kick up the line, and it's an excellent kick. No, just lost it the last second, so Gula couldn't have full control of the football. So Gula goes back in again for a second crack at the football, dribbles up very close towards the boundary line at the half forward flank. Georgiades goes after the football, loses control of it as she wanted to try and get the hand pass out. Scrapping hard for it there is Lawler for the Irish. Got to do a little bit dancing around, does so, gets it across to O'Reilly. O'Reilly close towards the boundary line. It gets tapped over the boundary line and out of bounds. That means it's no last touch rule. It'll be thrown back in 60 metres out for the American goal. They're going to the right of screen, which is the Mississauga end. And you should go to the website, visit mississauga.ca.
And do what we're doing and stay in Mississauga. It's a lovely place. We were just talking about their ice hockey history. Unfortunately, they just lost their OHL team, but you know what? Nice place to visit. As the ball comes spinning back into play. Going to be controlled by Ireland. Going to send this one forward. Nice catch in the middle of the ground, marked by Louise Scully. No relation to Vin. Farmer John hot dogs as the ball comes up on the far side as that one is sent and looking and bouncing and up on the far side now, going to be spun away. Couple of leads there for the Irish on offer. Stays in the middle of the ground. Good pressure put on by the Americans. Going to get picked up by Lewis. Finds Dykes with a hopeful handball. Dykes had her kick affected. So did Georgiades. It is pinball wizardry football, and right now Ireland is getting the better of it. It is like a small demolition derby out there at the moment with bodies crashing into each other at relatively full speed. Finally going down to get to it was Byrne. Tash and Byrne, or just Tash Byrne if you prefer. Kick that one up on the left side. Going inside, chasing after it is Hill, but there are 2 green jumpers back there. Hill has to put the pressure on. Going to get picked up by Keane, who got away from a possibly high tackle. US able to get to it. We're a daisy cutter there by Blecker. Missed 3 players, and there is Hoa, who kicked it to her, tried to kick it. You know what? That probably would have been called as deliberate. It's a lasso rule, last touch. It'll be a free kick to Ireland in the personage of the number 48. That's Kate O'Reilly.
O'Reilly made a point when we put out the player survey to tell some interesting facts about her themselves. She loves knitting. just quietly, I don't think anyone's going to wear any of the netting in these very humid conditions. Goes towards the half-forward flank position. Mark taken about 60 metres out from home, again by Anne-Marie Troy, who's kicked 2 so far today. Her kick is long. Got past Kastanek, who charged the football too early. Keen out the back here for the Irish is away to the left-hand side, and registered as just the one behind. 6:10:46 Ireland. The USA 117. That's thanks to Payable apps and this production courtesy of eThere Live.
Yeah, we were mentioning how clean some of these kicks were earlier today. I think that's coming apart a little bit for Ireland. That was an unforced error. As Lewis, speaking of which, they've put Connor Lewis there on the back line taking those kicks, and she turned it over quickly. There again is Quirk for Ireland, and now up on the far side and going after it. Going to get picked up and turning around there with the skull cap. Going to get sent in. Nice mark. Showing herself nicely with the lead is, I believe that's Scully there. We see an 8 on one side. Calling for it as an option is Lawler, but no, she says, nah, mate, I'm going to go through, except with an Irish accent. Sending this one to the top. Lots of hands. Carr was able to get to it. Tries to paddle it to her own advantage. Now soccers it on. Another dangerous opportunity, and that one goes out of bounds, and they will say not deliberate because she was trying to, at the very least, get it away. 40-point difference on the Payable scoreboard. 3.5 to go. Third term here from Toronto.
As we wait for the ball to be thrown back into play, you can see the Canada Northwind men standing behind the goals. The men's matches will be played tomorrow. So the format, at least for the first 8 days of the tournament, women's men, and so forth. As the ball is close towards the top of the goal square here, trying to get a hand pass in front of herself. Kendrick wanted to appeal to the umpire for holding, and the Oscar goes too. Managing to milk that. In fact, it was Marie Keating. I should have known. 18 Marie Keating, a very experienced campaigner. She, of course, lived for quite a while and played football for the UTS Bats, or it was then the UTS Shamrocks in Sydney. Would have seen a fair bit of Aussie rules on TV, knew the old hand pass in front and the arms go out. Just again, the indication to the umpire of, I do not have this football, I deserve a free kick. And she will be looking for her second goal of this match, almost directly in front, kicking towards the Toronto downtown end. Keating comes in, keeps it low, keeps it straight, keeps it good. 7-10-52.
53.
No, it can't be because once again it's got to be an even number. 7-10-52. 7-10-52 for Ireland. USA 117.
That Philadelphia math, man.
Was grade 5 the best 3 years of your life?
No. That mute button is there. Anyway, but in Ireland, I think really, oh goodness. So we're having a good laugh about that here. No, 2 minutes to go here in the third term, and one of the things is as we come back in the middle of the ground, Ireland again, I think they're showing they're a little bit fitter. Again, we'll see how that goes over the next 9 days of action in this humidity. You could cut it with at least a dull knife. Here is Georgiades, who just stabs the ball forward. Going to get picked up, shoveled back one up high, picked up by Scully. Scully again. Here come the Irish again on a Friday morning. There is Kastanek, who is held, tries to find Caskew, bounces away from her. The tyranny of the oblong ball, shuffles away, going to get caught and taken down by Ailish Dunn. And Dunn slams her into the ground and earns a free kick, and she will go back looking to chisel her name on the Payable app scoreboard. So she will go back from 25 meters out, dead in front. And Ireland with Kastanek and now Blecker doing some calisthenics in front. The kick is up on the way. It fades left, and it is through for a minor score. Now it's 53 points, 7-11. I could go for a Slurpee. 53, USA 117, Payable app scoreboard. Less than a minute to play, 45 seconds, in fact, in the third term.
That shot on goal there by Ailish Dunn, who captained MTU to the Fitzpatrick Cup Championship. Fitzpatrick Cup, of course, is a battle of the universities of Ireland and the United Kingdom, and they held that game every year. As the kick by Marie Keating, who intercepted the half-back flank, now half-forward flank. Here's towards the top of the square. Quick little hand pass shot it out there to Condon. Condon swings around on the right! Quiver Condon! Is it good? No, it just tipped the post on the way through. And now the field umpire and goal umpires are coming in for a brief conversation, and it is confirmed it hit the woodwork. Minor score 7-12-54. Ireland, USA 117. That's 7-12-54. 117 is the USA as the siren sounds for three-quarter time thanks to Payable apps.
This close, by the way, to being a Payable apps goal of the tournament, but all the same, Ireland. Now, my question to you, Pete, as this tournament goes on, you look at that score line, some of it is pressure, some of it is unforced errors. How upset are they going to be that they only have 7 goals from 19 scoring shots?
I think they'll be very upset, but remember, we're talking about the humid conditions and how the ball is going to be slippery. I mean, they'll be comfortable with the fact that if you broke down the possession of the game, they'd probably have something 70-30 in their favour. They've clearly got some domination going on. There is some good pressure, though, from the Americans. There's no doubt about that. The Americans' defence, despite the amount of time that the Irish are bombing away, has been creating some fantastic pressure, but they're just having troubles trying to move the ball up the ground because we said they're a little bit one-dimensional. Now there's the tricky part. Let's be honest with the situation. It's 47 points the difference. The Americans are not going to pull back 47 points. And this is also the same for the Irish who are in front. Smart coaches right now are pulling the best 6 off the ground. You got another 4 games in 9 days to play. Humid conditions, rest up. When I look at both scenes, when I see those gun players such as we talked about Marie Keating, we talked about Noonan, we talked about Troy and Stevenson, for example, for the Irish, we talked about Carr and Blecker, etc., and Williamson for the Americans. They've got to come off the ground now. This is a long campaign over 10 days. There is no use taking a risk on injury for brownie points in the last quarter?
Yeah, it really is. So maybe we will see them empty a bench. We're going to step aside, come right back for the 4th and final quarter of this opening match at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup from Toronto, brought to you by Payable Apps. The Irish Banshees trying to see out the opening game here in Toronto of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, brought to you by Payable Apps. They lead 54-7 on the aforementioned Payable Apps scoreboard. As we are set for the fourth and final term, the ball is in the air once again, and we are underway. The Irish now heading to the right of screen, and as this one ball goes to ground, going to get picked up here, rushing through like a house on fire was Blecker. Let's see what kind of pressure, and let's see what kind of strategy both teams have. Flock watching the football as the ball goes in front. Brian Bowers alongside Peter Holden. Great to have your company. A quick reminder, coming up next, it's Canada and Great Britain as round one of the women's division continues, and then at 2 p.m. Eastern time, it will be Colombia and France. Ball gets knocked through the hands of Bo, who also just recently got married. As the ball gets knocked down, and she and her husband Matt getting married a couple of weeks ago. Long handball over the top. There's Leisha Casserly, who has the football. She had it drop. Ball, cried the crowd. Ball, says the umpire. And it's a free kick
for
a sling. It'll be for Ireland. Up on the near side. As the ball comes out in front, it is marked on the chest by Annie Walsh. Walsh has the football. Is going to look inboard now, sending this one up high, going after it and trying to take it up. But another good spoil by Jess Blecker. She's been the player of the game for the U.S. for me, as Leonard spins it around, finds Hahn. We're seeing Leonard in. That's one of the players who's been on the, who's getting involved more. Here is Ed, who lost it. Ireland picks this one up, swings it again to the near side for Walsh. Walsh has the football, is going to run with it. Now throws this one on to the right, sending this one up high. Who wants it? Everybody. Who's got it? Nobody. It hits the ground, hits the deck. Going to get picked up, sending this one in, and the ball comes in front. It's going to get picked up on 2 hops. Long handball back out. That is Scully, and that is a behind, as that one just off of her shoelaces and through 4 behind. Payable Apps scoreboard, Ireland, 7 goals, 13 behinds, 55 points. The double nickels, USA, 117.
And that's at the Mississauga end of the ground. And you should check out their website. Visit mississauga.ca. As we wait for the ball to be brought back in. And at full back, we'll see a long boot towards the broadcast side of the ground, which is what the Americans have favoured for about 90% of today's game. Looking for Amelia Carr, went over the top to Kojo Lewis. Wants to call for the 1-2. Ball just got away from her, but she had the right idea. Lewis almost got run down. Hot potato hand pass to Jess Blecker. She says, I don't like the wiggles. The umpire said, too bad, play on. It came out quickly. Then to Amanda Bowe. Bowe goes up towards the half-forward flank position. Walsh came out towards it. Bounced off her chest. Lindsay Beck goes in there. Can't get the football out there for the USA Freedom, trying to spook the players. Kylie Horn, Irish, they lost control of it when they tried to get to Downey. Had support though. The kick very close towards the boundary line, over the head of Walsh, managing to pick it up there. Kate O'Reilly. O'Reilly then got it across to Maria Quirk. Came in board with a hand pass. My call for the 1-2. No, you don't. You don't get away from Kaya Sagula. She gets the resulting free kick on front of our eThere Live broadcast position.
She was named best and fairest of the Western Regionals, of the Super Regionals rather. That she is the reigning most consistent player at Nationals from a season ago. Flock sends this one into the ground, but it's turned over, and Maria Quirk takes the mark. The U.S. getting a bit of the notion here. It ain't going to change the result of the game, but they need to take that into their next game against Great Britain on Sunday. As I try and remember the days blending together, as that one is up high. I think that was going to be given as a high tackle. Indeed it is. And the free kick going to Kathy Hoa, another Pennsylvania native. Long handball to Fury. Fury slaloms through a defender. Left foots this one on the way. Flock is back there in defense, or I guess to catch, something like that. It wasn't a defensive play. She soccers the ball to herself. The mother of 2. She gets taken down, shoved in the back there by Amber Redmond. And then there's a little bit of a minor wrestling match happening between Bo and Redmond, who is in there, and we will have a ball up. And the
free kick.
A free kick. It will be given to Amanda Bowe. She was a soccer goaltender in college for Washington University in St. Louis, sending this one on the way. This has a chance that the goal is going to die short, but marked defensively, and Ireland gets out of jail.
But do not go past go, do not collect $200 as they go up the line. Kaya Sagula does the intercepting work here for the Americans. Gets it across though to Liz Ed. Liz Ed goes towards the top of the goal square. Nothing much on. The Irish will try and get it out of defence. Lawler does it. Then copying a whack across the back of the head for her troubles was Alison Leonard. And Leonard gets on the right boot, goes long and high towards the top of the goal square. Beck does the spoiling work, brought it down, tried to pick up the football, couldn't do so cleanly. Sagula's there as well. Look out, here comes trouble from the side, and the umpire says holding the football. 45 metres out from goal for the Americans going to the Toronto downtown end. And it ends up with Nicole Fury and the Golden Gate Iron Maidens. This is her international debut, and it's a pretty good one. Long and straight through the high diddle. And America get their second goal of the tournament. They go to 2-1-13. Ireland 7-13-55.
Kaya Saigula, the number 3 there. What a good look by Fury. And Fury creates that goal, Pete, with a big tackle and the heads-up play. She didn't look to bomb it long. She saw wide open Saigula, and Saigula with a very timely kick to get the U.S.'s second goal of this game. And both goals for the Americans off the foot of Minnesota Freeze player Kathy Hoa, the other one. And Saigula, a player relatively new to the game, picked it up. Actually, 2019 was her debut. And my goodness, I mean, she has very, very quick. She's not a flashy player by any stretch, but she is just good. And she has that gridiron background. A lot of gridiron players, especially from that Minnesota team. Ball goes to ground and once again underway. The U.S., if nothing else, can take some of this confidence against a good team. And Ireland, question as to what is their fitness going to be like? Oh, she tripped over. That was one of Tony Griggs' keys stuck in the middle of the ground there as she tripped over. I don't know what happened, but the ball came loose. Ireland has it. This is U.S. has it. That's Fury sending this one in. That's April Mudd. She fell over. It's like Mario Kart. Who left the banana peels out there? Here comes Ireland. Going to get picked this one up. She's taken down. Bo went after it. Bo's going to pick it up. Finds Ed. Ed with a shot for goal. And that one may have snuck through. Bang, bang, bang go the Freedom. And Liz Ed puts that one through for the third goal of the game. They go on to 3-1-19. Ireland 7-13-55. It took them to the fourth quarter, Pete, but all of a sudden they're finding their stride inside 50.
And with that difficult shot, I think that is a contender for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament, which will be awarded at the end of this 10-day campaign. Liz Ed at the Toronto downtown end of the ground. Again, on our Payable Apps scoreboard, Ireland 7-13-55. The USA 3-1-19. As the ball is thrown up and the umpire says it's fair play on, as it came knocked out by Williamson, who locked it along the ground. Good run down from behind, and the umpire says holding the football, and it's Lindsay Beck, and all of a sudden the Americans have got a bit of a wind behind them. Something's happening. They're finding some mojo. It's Beck who wants to go towards the centre half forward position. Early fly in the air, couldn't be brought in. Catherine O'Hara is there. She goes to ground while trying to get the football. Umpire says she was pushed off of it, and it will be a free kick. Catherine O'Hara with the football. Professional bodybuilder out of the Minnesota Freeze will be having a shot on goal from about 42.5 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the Toronto downtown end. I'm sure that's nice, but you should visit Mississauga.ca as Catherine O'Hara running shot at it. It's going to fall short at the top of the goal square. Many hands up, close towards the boundary line. Soccer off the ground. Does it go out? No, it doesn't. It manages to stay in for Quirk, who quickly put it back. It was O'Reilly, in fact, who put it on the boot. Heading up in the direction there of Walsh, who came out to meet the football. Gave the quick hands off here, and the Irish will move it up towards the wing position. Rita Hill tried to get it in front for the Americans. Trying to lay on the tackle there is Kendrick, but coming away with it was Blecker.
That's headed it through, looking again for Saigula, but she was met by two jumpers, and there's a big tackle in there, and a little bit of rolling around, but it will be a free kick. Payable Apps scoreboard: Ireland 55, USA 19. Brian Barish, Peter Holden, first of 3 games today, first of 30 games across this 10-day tournament from the banks of Lake Ontario at Humber College. Up on the far side now, as once again the ball is squirted loose, going to get picked up by Casserly. Everybody was moving in slow motion for a minute. It's like the little things kicked in a little bit, and the ball goes out of bounds. That will be a straight throw in directly across from the Irish Warriors men's team, who get their tournament underway tomorrow. Umpire will come in about 10 yards. He will stand with his back waiting. That's our mate Callum, who comes from the NTFL, as the ball comes streaming and squirting and circumnavigating, all those adjectives that you can find, gestures vaguely, as the ball gets sent in by the USA. And now again looking for Bo, skips by her, out the back looking for Hoa. At the ball gets knocked down. Hoa picks it up, tries to get away from a defender, but can't get away from Quiva Condon, as the ball wasn't called there, as she I don't know what happened. The ball came out, back again. Here's Hoa again, the U.S. putting their foot on the throttle. They might be a lap or two behind, but they all of a sudden have found another gear. Up on the far side now, here is Saigola. She was knocked A over proverbial T as that one is swept clear. Again looking for Hoa, sending this one in, looking for Mud over her top. Out the back is Bo. far inside goal. Who finds Fury? Left-footed shot on goal. Tailing. Is that going to find its way through? It is. And Nicole Fury joins the Congo line. Fifth goal kicker for the USA. 5-1-31 for the USA with under 3 minutes to play. It's a bridge too far. Ireland 7-13-55 Payable app scoreboard. But you know what? This is what we wanted to see. We saw the lights out. It means that they are playing all 4 quarters. It doesn't mean that the Irish aren't, but you see again the usefulness and the conditions. The Americans are making the most of it, and that's what's making this game a little bit closer.
It comes down to rotation. When these humid conditions, you've got to get in many breaks as possible, because if the star players are out there and just keep running, they're going to run out of gas more than you expect. As going in there, fight for the football was Leonard, got scragged, and the umpire says that'll be a free kick going the way of the USA Freedom. About 2 minutes remaining in this final turn for Payable at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup here in Toronto. Here's the kick up the line, and just going through the hands there, couldn't quite hang on to it, but now we'll get it back. It's Nagula, who goes for a run. Game enough to take a bounce. We don't see that from the American women that often. Puts it on the right boot, long and high and towards the forward line. Was looking for April Mudd, who came out to try and beat the football. El Presidente couldn't get there, and it's going to be taken away by Lawler for the Irish with a quick hand pass, finding Byrne.
Here comes Patch and Byrne. Oh, there's a big tackle there, but it's going to come to block, drop the pill just kind of naturally. I think she was trying to switch hands and dropped it, not under pressure. Play on. Off the hands there of Redmond. Ed is there to force the pressure with 90 seconds to go. There is Bo with a shot, with a fresh shot on goal, and it's through 4 behind. USA go to 5 goals to 32. That's 5-2-32. Ireland 7-13-55. 75 seconds to go in this opening game. The USA, well, it's a percentage, which is the first tiebreaker. This is really, really helpful. Going to get picked off there, but lead by Hoa, who has the football now. In fact, it is Kathy Hoa. She's going to bounce. She's going to back up. Well, if she can kick this one, I mean, this will be, listen, there's a minute to go, and it would take something superhuman at this point, but she will stride in. Hoa, the mother of 3, on the siren. The kick is on the way. It's across the face. It won't register, and that is that. Well, it was one-sided for most of the way, but the U.S. made the score a little bit closer on the Payable app scoreboard, and the final score in Game 1, it's the Ireland Banshees, 7 goals, 14 behind, 56 points. The U.S. 5-2-32, and Pete, look, this is a 5-game tournament. This is the first game. It's a loss. It may or may not affect if they make the semifinals, but that 4th quarter is a huge, huge building block for the USA.
Well, it is. I mean, they managed to come back into it, and that's something that they'll be proud of chipping into the margin. That was at 3/4 time, looking at 45 points the difference, and to make that respectable. The only thing I talked about at 3/4 time was about resting the key players, and we almost had the gamble not pay off for the Irish, and it may not, because when we saw the Stevenson situation here, and she went to ground with nerve with an ACL, they were saying, has she hit her head? She's one of their better players. She should have been off the ground. Now, here's a problem for the Irish, according to the tournament rules. If she is ruled to have concussion, she's out at grassroots for 21 days. She's done for the tournament. So that is a big risk that the Irish took that I talked about at 3/4 time. The game's done. Yeah. The better players have got to come from the ground. If Stevenson is ruled with any type of concussion, that's her tournament's done.
Yeah, and again, we said there's 4 more games in this tournament. They've got 2 more games against teams that, again, I think they match up well against, and then going into a possible semifinal against either Great Britain or France. We'll have to see how, like you said, that could be a big, big thing. Let's talk about our MVP of the game, brought to you by Power Wood Custom Cedar Supplies. Done right. I'll throw it on you. Who do you think is the best on ground?
Well, I'll see if I get a nod for you, and I'll talk about some of the Irish players first of all. Obviously, we've got the goal kickers, 2 to Anne-Marie Troy, 2 to Marie Keating, 2 to Shannon Stevenson, 1 to Shauna Kendrick in there. I mean, we saw a lot of the football through the hands of Karen Lawler, Elise Dunn, Annie Downey got onto it. We also saw Condon start to come into it, Pat Byrne as well, Louise Scully. I know she kind of disappeared a bit in that second half, but I got a feeling the wing was set up courtesy of someone like Becky O'Sullivan opening up the play early on in the game. And I think, as we said, you don't have to necessarily play the full 4 quarters to be the most valuable player. She was valuable when Ireland started hard to pile on those goals in the second quarter to take the game away from the USA. So for my money, Becky O'Sullivan.
Becky O'Sullivan is your Powerwood game MVP. Well, that's going to do it for this first game. Don't go anywhere because we have the second game of the day as the hometown team, the home side, the Canada Northern Whites, take on the Great Britain Swans. Pat McNeil and David Smith will have all the action for you in just a little bit. If you're sticking around, well, we'll see you then. If not, we'll talk to you later. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup brought to you by Payable.